God.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Honey, Let's Heal. We're back again with our pal Karla, and we are going to tackle another topic.
Oh, that's me.
That's you.
I
Let's
was
see
like,
what we
get
get
in here,
this time.
Kara.
Yeah.
Oh, we did that last time.
Okay, then let's make a different
Hold
one.
on. My bad.
That's okay.
Okay.
Oh, check.
No
We won't say what
rules.
that really is called.
Yes. Oh, here we go.
Gosh.
Passion.
Whoa.
Passion. Okay, I'll put this one over here
The
too.
driving force.
Yes. Okay.
That can go so many directions, right?
Yeah.
You think of like intimacy, relationships, goals, purpose.
Yep.
Passion is often associated with fire,
Yes.
as
That's
far as an
how,
element is concerned.
yeah, that's kind of how I see it. I see passion as like a positive aspect of our ego,
Mm-hmm.
helping us go out and get the things that we want.
Passion typically will align you with your highest purpose. Um, Sometimes when people are curious, or they'll say, well, I don't know what my highest purpose is, or I don't know what my purpose is in life, right? Like that's most commonly the thing that comes up. Um, the first question we like to ask is, well, what are you passionate about? Okay, well, what's passion? Well,
Yeah.
what makes you happy? What brings you joy? What lights you up? Like you hear about this one thing and you're like, yes, that's my thing. Or what is the one thing that just brings you like this level of peace,
Mm-hmm.
but 100% motivated and you don't even have to try. That's kind of what
Right.
passion is, right? And so passion then really leads us to what our purpose is. And many of us, there's this common misconception that you have one purpose in life,
Right.
and that's not true. And so for people who are looking for like their ultimate divine purpose, well, your ultimate divine purpose from a soul level, we all have the same purpose, and that is to remember our oneness and to
Wow.
really remember who we are as love. And so, like, as a soul, that's kind of everybody's purpose, right? That's a very general aspect, but it is expressed in many different ways. And so sometimes when we think about passion and purpose being associated together, it can look a lot of different ways. Some of us might have intimacy as our passion, right? Some of us might have riding horses or music as our passion, right? It's all an expression it's all an expression of love and how love can be experienced.
Amazing. Yes. When I think of the word passion, I go to compassion, right? And then
Yeah.
when I take the word compassion, I see compass, right? Like our
Yes.
internal compass is
Yeah.
going to guide us where to go, right?
That's
That
good too.
internal fuel source. Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
not always due north. That might
Right.
be true in
It rarely
geography.
is.
That
Sometimes
might
it's
be
like
true in
Jack
geography,
Sparrow's.
but that is not always due north. That is sometimes it is. Yes, Natasha, yes. Jack Sparrow is one of my favorites, right? Like walk around all crazy,
That's
like,
my
yes.
compass.
Yes. And
Where am I
that
going?
But in truth, when you think about it, that's a great analogy, right? Because it drives us to where our passion is and what our heart's truest desire is, which is why in some of those movies, he has a hard time and has to give it to somebody else, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I agree.
Hmm.
What else about passion?
Well, what if we each like share what some of our passions are or things that we're passionate about?
I like that. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carla, I think you start.
Oh, that's so not fair. I want to hear. Um, Passions. So obvious passions are obviously serving the many.
Yep.
That's a big thing for me. I am very passionate about advocating and helping people become their higher selves, their healthiest selves, their best selves, and truly experiencing joy in this life. That's a great passion of mine. It is obviously expressed in a lot of different ways. I also, one thing that I am incredibly passionate about, and my guides and my team use it often, and it has been something that's been drilled into me since I was a young child and learned how to do this, but is music. I love music.
Ooh. Yep.
My poor YouTube algorithm doesn't know what to think some days because one day I'm listening to hard rock, and in the next song, I want to listen to classic contemporary music, and then I'm
Yeah.
listening to like Celtic Druid music, sound bowls, and then I'm
Yes.
listening to Christian music, and then I'm listening to country, old country, new country, and then it's rock again, and then some golden oldies, like music
Yeah.
is all across the board, and it's a perfect expression. Um, for me, I'll be honest, the reason why I love music so much is because it's vibration, right? And
Yes.
when you get Natasha can totally touch on this because you do the sound bowls.
Yeah.
When you have a certain vibration, you resonate with it. The reason why I still go to church and the reason why I still love to be even at a concert, right? When you think about this, the magnitude of it is great. How often do you all get together and you sing the same song, right?
Nope.
Yeah.
So if all four of us started singing the same song, we now are all completely aligned in our vibration and we're all literally one. And so
Yeah.
imagine this when you're at a concert filled in a stadium of 100,000 people and they're all in the same moment, in the same song, and how powerful that is. Like,
Nope.
Yeah.
that is so incredible. Like, sure, we might be listening to a little crazy hard rock music at the time, but like we're all on the same page, right? It gets us
Yep.
all in sync. And all of a sudden, we remember our oneness with each other for one moment, right? And that is why I'm so passionate about music. Like you can find it's a common ground for somebody. I
Yeah.
remember one year for Christmas Eve, we did Silent Night without the piano and it was all a cappella. And
Yeah.
in those four verses, right? Like everybody was for as different of views as they had, for as angry as they might have been, or tensions that might have been in that room, for that four verses, everybody was on the same page. So music
Yeah.
is something I'm super passionate about. Obviously,
Okay.
my
I have to tell you a fun synchronicity. Her neighbor right now is practicing the piano.
And since they started,
Just
Yay!
when you
yes.
said the word music,
Yes.
it was like immediately, and
Yes.
it's been going on the whole time you've been
Yeah.
talking.
Yeah. I
Yes.
always have to point out a
Yeah.
synchronicity. It's so
Oh
fun.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
so awesome. I
Yeah.
love music for that. It is a
Yep.
way to get us all on the same page. And for once so this is that vulnerability piece, right? Like when we lay our ego down and say, no, you don't get to have a say in this right now. We're going to be fun and we're going to be real and we're going to be vulnerable and we're all doing the same thing. That's the true beauty in life. So when passion, like you all are passionate about this one thing, it's kind of cool.
Totally. I mean, it just amplifies the power, right?
Mhm.
Very cool.
Yes, yes. What are your guys' thoughts on passion? What are you passionate
Mhm.
about?
I share yours. I mean, music is huge for me, even so much as like spirit speaks to me through music all the time. Like
Hmm.
whenever I need something, I will hear it through music a lot of times where like it's just the exact right little quote and then that stays with me forever. And like I can always go back to that and bring that back up
I
and
may not
remember
have
that.
words for it, but I can find a song that'll tell you.
Exactly. Yes.
What's that quote? Like, tell me your favorite song, and I will know how you view the world, or something. Like
Mm,
when people ask that question, like on social media, I think that's so cool to see what song that is for people. That like
yeah. Their
what in
go-to.
yeah, like what induces like that joy, or when you hear this song,
Yeah.
how does that like impact you emotionally?
Yeah.
So it's a fun, interesting thing to.
Well, I think we all share also like connecting with people,
Yeah.
community, like how do I word it? Like we're all guiding each other home, right? Like that just we're helping each other remember who and what we are and what we're doing here.
Mhm.
And I know that's the reason we started this thing
Yeah.
was so that, we have all these amazing conversations,
Yeah.
right, between all of us randomly, and
Or
then
not.
yeah, right, and then it's like, gosh, we should, like, people need to hear this. Like,
Yeah.
this is bigger than just this room right here.
Mhm.
Yeah. I love connecting with people. One of my favorite, like, the thing I've always felt about myself is like I could talk to anyone anywhere about anything, and I truly feel that way. Like,
Yeah.
holding space for people, and my favorite part of femininity is like the empathy piece, right? Like, it's so built into us. I don't know, I see empathy as like emotional telepathy. Like, I see it as a psychic gift, not just like some psychological term.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But yeah, connecting with people, learning about people, reflecting back to people. um Nature is another huge passion of mine. Like, I don't know where I would be if I live on a river, and I can't imagine living away from a body of water now, because it's just the most healing thing to go sit in the woods by the river. I mean, if I could just do that forever, I would, but unfortunately I can't. Maybe in my next life I'll be a
We could
tree.
all just run away to the forest. That would be
I
okay
know.
too.
I think we should.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to share your passions?
Yeah, I'm gonna piggyback off of like what you guys have said. And
Yeah.
I think like the bigger passion piece for me, and maybe for us as we're talking about it, is just like seeing that there's just all these things that are wrong in the world, but we all can see too that there's like this bigger picture that we haven't yet. Like, we see it, but we don't know how to get there. So I think
Right.
we're all passionate about
Helping us get there.
yes, and like being on that journey of like when we can all be aligned with what we're doing and help people along the way in these small ways.
Yes.
Pushing and helping these people go back out as the collective, and then, you know, just shifting the frequency and vibration of the entire world. 'Cause
Yeah.
we can do that. A
Yes.
lot of times we think, oh, I'm only one person. Well, I'm a fucking very powerful person. And if
Yes.
we are all very powerful people, then why are we trying to hold all this in? So I think that passion piece is just like knowing that we can do something and not feeling helpless anymore.
I
Because
think it's really important to realize too that the four of us aren't
yeah,
anything alike really in our individual lives, you know?
Right.
And
Yep.
so to see that, I think that's really powerful too, to see like you don't have to have the common things with other people. You can we all share one common thread, right? And it's
Right.
the deepest, most inner part of us. And so just to see like there's beauty in differences and collaborating with those differences. So I like that, Natasha. That's a great thing.
Well, I think, and at the core, it might just be that reminder that we might have all of these different things outwardly, different
Yeah.
things that we enjoy, things that we don't like, or even these things where we see in other people. I don't like that shit at all.
Yeah.
But at the core basis of things, like, we all know and acknowledge that things need to change, and that if we want it to, then we have to be accountable and responsible
Yeah.
for that change too. And when we all come from different things, we go back to different people. So then our ripple
Yeah.
gets bigger too. Like, we don't want to go back to the same people, because then we're only impacting this right here. And it just made me click, like with Mandy, we're always like, why the fuck do you live as far away as you do? Like, you need to move here. And she's like, no, no, no. Like, I have work to do up there. And I literally just clicked now. We're like, okay,
Yeah.
she can stay.
Yeah.
You can stay there. I'm never going to ask her again, because like she needs to take what she's doing, like what we do here, and go there. And
Yeah.
Karla, you've talked about how like you, myself, and I cannot think of her name, how we are in this pretty much this exact grid, like this straight line from North Dakota out.
It's okay. It's okay. No, it's okay.
Hong Kong.
We can do wide word.
Yeah.
Like,
From there,
we're
all the
trying
way
not
down.
to be specific about where we live.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
where we can have this grid almost in this perfectly straight line just between the three of us, from what you
Right.
figured out, like where we are on the map. So
Yeah.
that's cool.
And it's interesting because when like Natasha and I and this other lady all actually kind of connected for the first time a year and a half ago or 2 years ago
Yeah.
now, they it was right as Orion's belt was aligning, and on the constellation side of that, there we literally were Orion's belt, the way that we aligned. And the fact that the three of us grew up in the same town as well, right?
Yep.
And we weren't exactly connected or close at the time when we were growing up.
Right.
And even how we lived in that area was also connected as Orion's belt. Now, there's a lot of significance to Orion's belt and the stars that are in that, and
Right.
it makes it a whole big story. But it is like when you think about the rippling effect, right? So, like when I was in Ascension, the people, it was global, it was worldwide. We had people from all over the world that were in that group, and we always align. So geometry is huge when it comes to understanding higher consciousness and things. We all made a grid of a triangle every time. Like if you mapped us out, we all made this triangle grid, right? Because the triangle is the most sacred and strongest geometrical shape that there is. And so it was very interesting how that happens. And what ends up happening is you create this triangle grid, right? And then all of that energy floats here, and then the next piece goes out and you have this other one, and it just keeps going. So it's not necessarily that you have to have points everywhere, right? It's about when you hold the space, a powerful space like that, then you get to share that vibration through that space. And so it's very powerful to have be one person connected to one other, right? And as humans, we can't actually do it by ourselves. That's not part of our purpose. We do have to have those heart-to-heart connections with other humans. And so that's a big piece of that too, is understanding that you can do it on your own as independently as you want to, but that interdependency part is such a huge thing too. So
Agreed.
yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. Interesting. Very interesting.
I was just thinking, another piece of the passion is building the space and providing the space, like the song bath. That's you guys are doing that. Like you're presenting the space so that people come in, feel safe, and then we can all vibrate higher.
Yeah.
And then all go out to your own respective places.
Yeah.
And then
vibrate.
exponentially giving that vibration to other people and bringing other people with you.
Yeah. Yep.
Because I think it's totally random. I think it's more important, to focus on the vibration we're giving out rather than being scared when we go to a store or and be like, oh, I gotta protect myself. But hey, what if we go in?
We just
feed off of this. Yeah. Provide
Put
that
out what we have instead of trying to pull it back in.
You want to radiate
it out.
Push it out so then other people are getting that. I remember that when I go to Costco, I'm gonna and they're like Care Bear.
Yes, totally.
On a more personal level too, like when I connected with Natasha is when I was learning to step away from who I was and into who I am, right? And that was a very scary time for me on a very personal level because number one, it was new, right? And but at my heart also knew that I needed to be able to do this and I needed to be able to express it freely without limitation, without any sort of fear. But I also knew that the people that I was with, that was my support for many, many years, were limited in their perspective, and that then limited how I could share my messages with people. And so meeting people like Natasha, and then getting to meet Mandy and now you, Kara, like that just allowed me to feel like, okay, I'm not alone. Right. Which this seems so like so many people are like, oh, well, I'm alone in this all the time. And then because it's become such a big thing, they kind of dumb it down like, no, you're not. But the reality is that we do still feel alone. We really do. And that's part of that separation piece that of our ego and our higher self, right? Like we're always going to have that aspect of polarity, duality, and separation. And so even at the highest vibrating consciousness, we will still experience that in a very human way of where we do feel separate, where we do feel alone. And there's been many times where I have felt that. So when you think about passion and sharing truth with other people, this is why it becomes so important, because even if I'm at a higher level of consciousness than somebody else, they get to see that, and then it makes them feel safe. It makes them feel secure enough to actually express their own authentic truth. And I am so grateful, like I've said this before, where I'm really grateful for my open-mindedness now, but I'm grateful for the people that my team put around me to be able to have a safe space to experience that. And so when we talk about offering that space, like that is what this then becomes. And I think it's important when you don't feel judged, right? Then you offer a safe space. So if you want to know how to create the space that we're talking about, that's all it is. It's about being open and being unjudging, because love doesn't judge. Love doesn't limit you in any way. It just is. It simply is.
Yes.
And so when we allow that to be our mindset and our perspective for other people, like it creates this really beautiful and powerful thing for them. And in return, because it's always balanced and there's always an equal amount of giving and receiving, there's then becomes this space for us to say, we are safe, we are secure in what we're doing, and this is all divinely protected. So
Yeah, absolutely. So for the people that have been disconnected from their passion, how do they get back to that?
Oh, yeah.
you actually have to sit and ask the question. So here's one of the most common things that I see happen in my work. We get to a point where we have completely given away all of our power and we become a victim of our own lives, right? And many of us live in that. And even as higher vibrating beings, we still do live in that,
Absolutely.
And I think it's really important to just say, I'm going to take a moment to sit with myself and ask, what is it that I'm passionate about? Right. So as a mom of toddlers, your passion is your children, but you might have this secret hidden passion to just take a nap or take a shower, go to the bathroom by yourself, like, and have a moment to yourself. And many people think that they need to have hours, that they have to be able to sit in stillness for hours. I'm sorry, I didn't know how to sit in stillness. My nervous system and my ego had no idea how to even sit still for 2 seconds, right?
I think that's very common, right? In our society, it's kind of the norm.
Yes. So it was really, for me at least, it was really important to just sit and say, I'm going to take a moment just to write, today I'm passionate about this. Today I'm passionate about that, or just to ask the question and actually ask yourself. Don't ask somebody else, right? Like, because I could call Natasha and say, hey, Natasha, what am I passionate about? Right. And she'll be like, I don't know. That's not for me to decide. Right. And so, but because my nervous system knew how to give away my power and knew that I was just basically an effect of anything happening outside of me, I didn't know how to actually claim responsibility for my own stuff. And that is a society taught thing. That is a society norm. And that's that over masculine energy that kind of comes in and takes that. So part of it is just agreeing and allowing yourself to sit to say, I do have a passion.
Yeah. Or even just saying, like, I don't know what my passion is yet, but I'm open to learning what that is or taking steps to figure it out.
Even asking the question, who am I?
Yes.
Well, even
because,
oh, go ahead, Karla.
Like, a good example for me would be, like, as a mom, we give up a big chunk of our identity when we have a child. And they become who we are.
Right.
Yeah.
And the problem with that is that when they're gone, who are you? And in the process, if your sole identity is found in your children, you hold them back and you're on their journey instead of on your own, right? And then you miss it. And then there's this huge ripple of grief that happens.
As a parent.
Yep. And there's also this major tension that happens inside family life when you don't stay on your own journey. And some people are like, well, my kids are my journey. They are a piece of your journey, but they are not actually your journey. And that was a huge awakening moment for me too. So just sitting with yourself and asking, who am I? There's days I still don't know, right?
Right.
But and that's because you're growing and evolving, and that's okay. And allow yourself grace when you do sit and when you do ask those questions. Don't don't be your worst enemy because that'll be what's hard.
Yes.
And one thing that I tell people too, like when they're trying to figure out what that passion is, what did you like when you were 8, 9, 10
Yeah.
years old? And I had to sit back and think about that. And I was like, I just like the fact that because we lived on a farm and I could just always be outside. And that to me is like that passion piece or like that
Yeah.
the piece that really brings that childlike state is just being out in the sunshine, fresh air, no shoes, and
Freedom.
yeah, yep. And that feeling of like because obviously when you're a kid you don't have a care in the world, right? Like you've been uncompromised by all of the things around you and you can just kind of not have these expectations of yourself or what other people are supposed to do. So kind of like cycling back to what Mandy had said too about just like being in nature, I think for me it helps to connect with that passion piece, but suggesting to people if you're struggling with figuring out what that is, go back to that age, like before the world happened, like before you were aware of things.
Before the world happened to you.
Yeah.
That was a
Mm.
huge part of my healing journey, was like going back to childhood and like what did I do all the time? Like I was always singing. I was always outside. I loved the spirograph
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And then being on the farm with my cousins was my favorite thing. And I actually even spent like a couple holidays like asking my family to like tell me about me when I was little.
Mm.
And my aunt brings up the like a funny story about me. Like as a kid, they didn't get to watch TV on the farm, but I grew up in town, so I got to watch TV all the time. Like that was like my babysitter, right? And so when I would be out there, I would beg to watch TV and they wouldn't let me. And that was like a huge trigger point for me. And that is like what gave me the freedom to then start creating art for television. Like I truly believe like that's what I came here to do. But I couldn't see that through all of my trauma. And then once I started healing, I was like, oh my God, of course. Like I already have 10,000 hours invested into that thing, like probably way more, unfortunately. But it's
a launch.
but it was just, yeah, asking the people around me to like tell me about myself and see how they see me was really helpful for my personal healing journey and like reconnecting with those parts of myself that I had, rejected or neglected.
There's something that's been kind of surfacing around on social media a lot lately too, and doing like self-help stuff, and asking questions
Yeah.
about who you are. And they do this in business sometimes too, where you pick a person and you have to write like what are their greatest attributes, right? So it's to help to connect the team and all those things. And there's also this really big thing about, do you talk to yourself the way that you talk to other people?
Mm.
Right? Like, would you say that to somebody else? And I have a girlfriend of mine that does this all the time, and I'll just look at her. I'm like, you just called me a fat bitch. Like, that wasn't nice. And she's like, I did not. I'm like, oh, but you did. Like, she didn't say it to me, right? But she said it to herself. So, like, you
Right.
role play that out like that. And
Yes.
it's so interesting to me. We as adult women or as adult men, this is part of the thing that men really struggle with too, and I find it way harder for men to do this than women. Is I always challenge. I had to do this at the very, very beginning of my ascension journey, and it was the hardest thing, and it took me nearly 3 months to do. And it's the simplest thing in the world, right? But it's still hard. You literally have to go to a mirror. I call it the mirror challenge. And I strongly recommend anybody doing this if they want to know where they need to grow at or what they need to work on next. Like you feel like you've plateaued in your growth or whatever, or maybe you're just starting to explore. This is where you go. You literally have to go to a mirror and stare yourself in the eyes. You set a timer on your watch or your phone for 5 minutes. You have to stare at yourself for 5 minutes. And during that 5 minutes, you need to look yourself in the eye, which this is what's really hard, right? And
Yeah.
you have to say, I love myself.
Well,
I love myself. The goal is to say it 25 times in that 5 minutes. And the first couple times that I did it, I just stared at myself and I would instantly start crying, right?
wow.
Because when I look in the mirror, what do I see? Right? Like you guys can tell me what you see, and that's great. You can say that I'm beautiful. You can say that I'm an incredible human and that I have such a beautiful light, right? But it does not matter as far as my vibration goes unless I truly believe it and own it,
Right. Right.
right? And so when people get to a point where they're like, well, I've done all of this work and I've done all of these things, I'm like, go to the mirror, ask yourself, you are the keeper and the wisest person for you, right? And so you hold every bit of information that you need to know to grow, to heal, to do whatever it is that you want to do in your life. So go to that mirror and try and tell yourself that you love yourself. Wholeheartedly love yourself. Every single aspect, every single thing that you seemingly think is a mistake. Can you say with great passion that you love yourself? And if you can't, that's where you need to start. That's where you need to work. So, like in the fall, when you do shadow work, perfect time, right? Or maybe you're getting to a point like, why is all of this stuff outside my outside world happening? Like, I did not create this. Okay, well, subconsciously, you're still vibrating there. So
Right.
then go to the mirror, ask yourself, like, I love myself? What do I see? Right. And then that sometimes is where we find our blocks, our limits, and it's also where we find our heart's greatest passions too. Right?
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have some passions you want to share?
Um, as the journey has gone on, your passions change. They just vary because they have to. Like you have toddlers.
Mhm.
And now my kids are older, and so my passions have completely changed. Not completely, but now I'm focused on this journey, what we're here to do. How can I show up for other people and support them on the journey? And so that's where my passion is really turned now. Is
Yeah.
what are we doing? And let's do this. And I want to know more. And I want to foster those gifts that keep popping up. Like, why do I know this? So how do I foster that and continue to grow?
Right.
Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. Mhm.
Oh, all the things.
I
I
know.
think when I think about how we can be super powerful for each other, as far as, I mean, not just as women, but as humankind, I love what Kara said, where her passion is now driving to, like, I've experienced this, I have wisdom in these things now, you know? So sometimes the most powerful thing that you can do is merely show up in that room and have your
Right.
heart held wide open
Yep.
to just say, like, hey, mama, you got this. Hey, daddy, you got this. Like, you
Yeah.
will survive, I promise, right? Like, I've survived. I'm still breathing. I'm still alive. And it's all good, right? And just being that presence that gives hope is really powerful. And I think many of us, you know, because we live in a society that says that women have to have more of that masculine energy, you know, and we kind of drive over that. We become very competitive and
Right.
we forget what just presence looks like, you know, and that absolute divine presence in all of us that says, here's my heart, I give it to you, right? Like right now, I could literally just open my heart and connect with all three of you, and you can feel it in your heart too, right? That, oh, there's that
Absolutely.
little open
Goosebumps.
light. Yep. And that's the heart to heart. It's not that we're having this deep invoking kind of conversation or we did something super magical to get there.
Right.
No, it's just a thought that says, I just want you to feel loved in this moment. You know,
Yeah.
like let me channel that love for you
Yep.
so that you can remember what it looks like, so that you can find it in your everyday life, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
Being an example
Beautiful.
is such a huge thing. So I think that's
Oh,
very interesting.
absolutely. I feel like we are here specifically for that, right? To lead by
Yeah.
example, right? Walk the walk or talk the talk, walk the walk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Passion is fire.
Love that. I love that.
And I'm feeling fiery.
The sun is helping too.
Love it.
Yeah.
For sure.
When you think of passion, do you think of a chakra? Like, do you feel it anywhere in your body?
I feel like those can be so connected to any. Like it just like
Depends on what it is.
I think the most I don't know if stereotypical, but like the sacral chakra is connected to like intimacy, femininity, passion,
Creativity.
Yep.
Mhm.
And then obviously your heart connected to love as well.
Mhm.
But then when I think of like a crown chakra, higher power, because that's what's giving us all of these things too. So I don't think you can really take one out.
Yeah.
Because then your solar plexus is also connected to purpose,
Drives.
yeah,
Yep.
yep, work, school, how we contribute and give back to the world.
That's
So
your
I don't,
power center.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't think
Yeah.
there's really one that is. I think they all have a piece of that
I agree.
within it, that
Mhm.
passion piece, for sure.
Mhm.
Mhm.
How do
Well, if
we
it's all connected, that would make sense.
exactly,
Yep, middle of the
exactly.
spider web, right?
Yeah.
How do we hold space for people that lack passion?
Mm.
Unjudging, open space.
Unconditionally loving?
Yep. I
Meet
think
them
it's
where
really
they're at.
important. Yep. I think it's really important for us to remember like every journey has purpose.
Right. Everything's
Even,
sacred.
yep. And that's really hard for people who have witnessed like murder or really bad things happening in their lives, you know, like every journey has purpose and every journey has a lesson on how to honor love at a little bit higher form, right? And it's always an opportunity. Sometimes it's about sacred karma, balance, all of those things, but just knowing and understanding that their life has purpose, that the bird's life has purpose, that the
Yeah.
house's life has purpose, you know, that the river has purpose, even your coworker that you can't stand has purpose, right?
Yes.
And to hold that kind of a light and to hold that kind of a space and a perspective is such a powerful driving force, right? Because our world is real good at breaking you down and reminding
God,
you of your shortcomings. And we, our ego is even better at it, right?
Right.
We're our own worst enemies in so many ways. So when we offer the opportunity and the idea of your life matters, I might want to slap you right now, but your life matters, right?
Right.
Like,
Right.
and it automatically and naturally brings you back into a state of compassion with an open heart, right? And so even when, I mean, how can we do it? It's really just looking at people with no judgment, right? I'm not the caretaker of your life. I'm not the
Right.
caretaker of my own children's lives. You know,
Yeah.
that's the truth of it. And I don't want to take your power and I don't want to take your lesson. Like,
Right.
what I can do is stand right here next to you and say, it will be okay. It is sacred and it is divine and it's wholly protected, right? Like it is divinely protected for you to learn this lesson so that you know how to honor love higher, so that you
Wow.
can remember your oneness a little bit more and just allowing for that to happen, even in the chaos. And I mean, for those that we love, that's really hard because we don't want them to hurt. But the truth is, hurt is a great experience. It's a great teacher.
It is. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
sometimes that means doing that. And if they don't, here's the next thing. Imagine tying your kids' shoes forever. And then
Yeah.
they're 25 and don't know how to tie their shoes.
Like Velcro.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
some people don't think about it like that. Like, I don't have enough time. We have to get going, and I'm just going to tie
Right.
your shoes, right? Like, we're just going to do this. And then all of a sudden, they're in fifth grade, or they're going to walk out on the football field as a high schooler, and they don't know how to tie their damn shoes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Learned helplessness.
Right.
right?
Yep.
And so I think it's really important for us to remember, like, whatever you choose in your journey is your journey, and you will take full responsibility of it because you will learn it so much faster that way, right?
Right.
If you don't, you're going to have to go through it again. And I'm sorry, but I don't want to witness going through that again. So
Right.
here, let me give you that lesson, and let me give you your power back to do that and to learn it, right? So then we open this space of, I'm going to love you, right? Oh, here she is. She wants to share a message with you. Um, Mother Mary is right here. How fitting for the season.
Goosebumps.
Yep. So Mother Mary, for those that don't know, not wasn't just the mother of Jesus, right? She was a very, very powerful holder of holding her heart open, and she loves to share this and learn this, to teach this to other people. So if you want to know how to hold your heart open, ask her, and she will come join you. She also loves children. She loves children. So if you want to, if you're watching, you can go ahead and close your eyes, and she will be right here. She's right here behind me right now, and she is totally just gleaming this out. She's reminding us that when you hold your heart open, you do it through such, doesn't matter the suffering, right? It doesn't matter the suffering that you witness. You hold your heart open and you say, you are love. You are absolute, pure, divine love. And for those of you that know the crucifixion story, that really did happen, right? Like, Jesus really did get hung on a cross. And the whole time, Mary knew from the day that he was born exactly the kind of death that he would have. And all through it all, right? She also understood, she also knew and understood that that was going to be the most powerful thing for all of humankind. And so she said, I will hold my heart open to every bit of suffering that you will ever witness because you chose me. And I chose to hold love, because this is what we are, is this ultimate love that loves through all things, right? And so she literally held her heart open for all of it, even though they literally beat the shit out of her son, right? And made him all these defaming things. And even still today, as we mistell his story, she
Right.
holds her heart open. She says, I love you because that's who you are, right?
Mm,
And she says to just hold it open, and in the pain and the suffering to see that love, right? So here's the beauty that happens with love. Love is the ultimate vibration. It is the core of what we are.
yeah.
It is what some people would call God. It is the greater mind of the all. It is the all. That love is that centerpiece, that fire, that passion, all of those things. And so when we remember that love, anything that meets that love has no option to become anything other than love itself. And so by us holding that space to have love, to experience love, everything around us has nothing to become but love itself. And so she held that space, which is why she is a saint and an ascended master, right? Because she taught us the ultimate heart wide open, no fear. Okay. So like that's one of her messages is no fear. When you have fear, it blocks the way the light comes through, right? We're going to put a filter here. Now, this is the love that you see, right? But when we hold it open, this is the love that you see.
Mm,
And so she's reminding us, just hold it open, right? Divine timing, divine balance is always in play. And when we hold our heart open with this really powerful love and just allow it to be, all is well in it. All is well. All is held in perfect balance. And even though it might look like pain and suffering, it's not, right? Allow that love, because when you open your heart, even in that pain and suffering, there's a shield there that happens then,
right.
right?
Right.
So it's like, this will be a lesson. It won't be a death, it'll be a lesson. Right.
Right.
And allow that lesson and allow that beauty to happen. So, oh, thank you, Mother Mary, for sharing that lesson.
Yeah.
That was
Thank
beautiful.
you.
Yes. I love
Totally.
she's really good. And when I personally had to learn how to find my passion, right, and learn how to unblock my heart so that just the truth of love could come through, she helped me do that because I had a hard time with it. She used my children, right? Because it's easy to do that with our kids. We
Right.
love unconditionally for them. But she just said no conditions, no expectations. It doesn't matter what your brain seems to think that they did wrong or did right. You're going to love them. And if you can do that, right? Like that's that world peace thing, right?
Right.
And it's not a far-fetched thing. And all it takes is one of us to stand in that room and say, you know what? I'm just going to open my heart. I
Mm,
really don't like how this looks. I don't like what you're doing. I see your pain and suffering. It really sucks to witness, but
right.
here's my heart. And even if my mouth can't tell you because you're not open to that reception, I know that the vibration around you needs
Mhm.
this. And
Yeah.
because love is always the neutralizing force, right? Like I'm just going to hold my heart open and however you need to receive that, you receive that. Right. So I
Mm,
think Kara's purpose is beautiful, right? Like to just be somebody in that midst, right? To be in that
yeah.
midst and to say like and smile. I get to do this now. It used to drive me
Yeah, right.
crazy when people do that. You're in Walmart and you're checking out and your kids are grabbing all the shit right there. Like, who does that? That's terrible marketing for mothers. Oh, but at the same time, like, then there's this little old lady behind you just smiling, right?
Yeah.
Right? And it brings me to tears
Yep.
every time. And she just looks at you like, it's okay, mama. And every
Yeah.
once in a while, they do something and they buy your kids the damn candy you said no to
Right.
15 times, right?
Right.
Don't ever
Totally.
tell those grandmas and grandpas no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Because then they try and buy your whole groceries. But anyways,
Yeah.
being that presence in that moment, right? Like, so when you've experienced that and you want to share that wisdom, don't be afraid to share it, right? You were given
Mhm.
that wisdom and that lesson because you blazed a trail through that already, so somebody else could find it. So when you just stand there in that presence, right? And with that smile that says, I remember that well. Just don't strangle them. I promise you'll survive.
I promise it's gonna be okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
So, on our planet, there is a ton of suffering and a ton of fear. If Mother Mary's still with you, or if you have your insights, like what are some easy action steps, right? Because it's very easy to conceptualize, but how do we put it into practice?
So make priority, your priority is your self-love. The most powerful thing you can do is honor thyself, um, because that naturally honors everything else around you.
Mm,
The highest good of everyone else around you. That is their main message. There's a few of them that are chiming, so I'm just trying
yeah.
to wait to see what else they're giving me here.
Yes, yes.
Um, we're also to remember that all is held in perfect divine balance. And although it may seem seemingly chaotic at the moment, it is actually very beautiful. And there is a divine peace that runs through it all. They're reminding you to not attach, not attached to what you see. Um, Mainstream media is actually very terrible for this. They're only going to show you the fear aspects. They will not ever actually show you the truth of what's really happening. One of the biggest driving forces that we're seeing, especially here in America, the things that are happening, like the wildfires, there's actually going to be a lot of flooding that happens this year as well, because
Yeah.
water is actually moving that. So we're going to have a lot of rain, a lot of moisture, a lot of and floods. But because water is what's cleansing, that's what's holding that vibration to help cleanse as Mother
Yeah.
Earth takes her inhale.
Yeah.
And so they're just saying don't attach to what you see. You can see it, but see it from an unattached perspective, right? And see it and have that compassion, allow your empathy to feel it and see what's happening, but to not attach from it, right? And then that's the part of the whole opening the heart and just saying like, I trust that this is covered in that beautiful love and that it's
Yeah.
covered in that beautiful passion. Um, Going back to the honoring thyself love first, And they're saying why this is so powerful is kind of what we talked about earlier. Like we're all aligned geographically right now to really hold a very powerful net or matrix is the word that's coming to me. We're holding this very powerful matrix as to where we're all at and when we are actually awakening to it. And they are saying that by honoring your self-love first, it will naturally honor everybody else, right? So example would be that if I honor my truest and highest good, when somebody comes to me and says, okay, well, you have to work a 20-hour shift tomorrow and then a 15-hour shift to the next day. Now, there's a part of me that's going to say, yes, I can do that because I can serve and I can do all those things, but it doesn't honor me because it doesn't honor every aspect of my life, right? It doesn't honor my family, or it doesn't honor my friendships and all of those things. And it doesn't honor my peace and rest, right? By now saying no, this is what happens, right? So because I said no and I'm going to honor my highest self, what ends up happening is it pushes the power back, right? It gives people power back to why did that situation happen in the first place? Because you hired unqualified people or because you didn't schedule accurately. And it really drives the root of what is causing some of those problems. So even though I didn't have a direct effect on any of that, right? Like I didn't cause that, but because I chose to honor myself in it, it then pushes truth back into everybody else, right? And it'll naturally honor their highest good. Now, sometimes that looks really chaotic because if I call somebody out and I say, no, you're not, like, that doesn't honor me, so we're not doing it. And then they pull all this back onto you, right? They'll push all this back on and say, well, I'm really shorthanded. I really need you to do this. I need you to step up in here. And if we don't do this, then all of this is going to happen, right? And try and make it your problem. But the moment that you give it back again and you say, no, it doesn't honor me, so we will not do that. We have to figure out a different route, right? So now it has to push back and it'll actually pick out all of the things that are actually wrong. And the beauty that happens is when you do that, now you have this balance that honors everybody in that schedule, right? It doesn't honor just one or two people and allow somebody else to skip off of their journey, right? And call out or do whatever. It makes them accountable for their actions to honor their highest self then. Because by cheating out and saying I'm sick and going to party doesn't mean that that doesn't honor them, right? And we know that it doesn't honor their truth. So by me saying, no, I'm not going to, call them back up, right? And call them out on their shit. Because by calling out that truth, it then honors them. Because if not, you're over giving and your cup is now not even close to being fulfilled. And the hole that has nothing there does what? Eats up at all of you. So by honoring your highest self, then you naturally will honor everybody else that's around you.
Yeah. And it's taking away their opportunity for growth too.
Yes. It's stealing the lesson, and that's not something I'm for.
Right,
No.
totally. Well, I feel like that's a huge theme in the collective right now, because I know I personally had to leave a job that I loved, that I did not want to have to leave, but I just felt like I had no other choice because, leadership wasn't honoring people the way that they should be. And I've seen it with like other friends and family members, and it's like, yep, I guess this is just a huge collective theme that everyone's going through, that we're like reshuffling and reconfiguring our own energy and figuring out what works for us and what doesn't.
One of the interesting things that I found about mine is as I started to actually honor my higher self in my work, right, as a nurse, it really wasn't necessarily our facility. It's actually the whole healthcare system in general. Right. So then it pushes into that, which is the global aspect, the collective aspect of it. And so to see that power, like just because one person said, I'm going to honor me, it is rippling right up into the heart of the main issue, right?
Right.
So when people think, well, I'm only one person, right? And that I don't have that kind of, yeah, you do.
Right.
And by honoring, that's why the angels are literally saying, like, well, there they are, they're all back again. Why they're literally saying, like, it's all about honoring your self-love first. And when you can do that, then you can actually honor everybody else, right? Because now you know
Right.
how, as empaths, as feelers, we overgive all the time. All the time. It is almost a curse for us, right?
Yes. Yep.
And so when you learn how to honor your own self-love, now you actually know how to honor somebody else in the right way.
Right.
That's for them,
Yep.
right? And you know how to set a boundary that isn't uncomfortable to you.
Yep. Because you're setting it out of love, right?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Because you're like, if it doesn't honor me, there's no way in hell it can honor you,
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
If
Yeah,
I have to
boundaries.
sacrifice something in my family and then I'm going to ask Natasha to do the same thing, that's not fair. That doesn't honor either of us.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Mm.
Awesome.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do the angels have any final thoughts that they want to leave us with?
Oh, they just showed me this vision of the four of us, and they're like, just so you know that you're beautiful humans.
Aw.
So funny enough, when I opened my computer to jump on here with you guys, there was a picture of penguins, four penguins.
Cute.
So I already knew that the angels were going to be kind of driving some of this conversation
Sure.
with us today, but it was just so funny. I'm like, okay, so well, what does an angel mean, right? Like, I don't understand. And they actually, penguins represent community resilience and adaptability, and ability to thrive in harsh conditions through teamwork and loyalty.
Wow.
Next tattoos, we're each gonna have a solitary penguin.
Right, right. I don't ever see penguins, so I didn't
Yeah,
actually know what that one
interesting.
represented. So it was kind of funny. I'm like, girls, what are we really going to be talking about today?
I love that.
Well, when I think of like videos of penguins, like you know how like one gets like left and it like the other ones are going and then there's like a straggler behind and he has to like waddle really fast to catch up. Like that's one of like my favorite
The
like
waddling actually is what represents the individuality of the community. So it's not like that they're all the same.
interesting.
The
Right.
waddle represents the individuality. So yeah,
Very
that's kind of
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
It makes me
Well,
think of Happy Feet.
yes. Like, oh, yeah, that's so beautiful.
Bro.
Another thing that they just dropped in is
Just freaky.
to remind you all that we are human beings, not human
Yes.
doings,
Yes.
and that it's okay. And we have to remind our nervous systems
Right.
that just being, simply being, is better than just doing.
I don't know, take that out there, you turd.
Natasha's son's messing with us in the background.
I love it.
Yes.
Welcome to Raising Boys.
The door opens in,
Yeah.
so we can't get in if he leaves that.
He locked us out, so
That's too bad. Sunrise it is.
yeah.
Yeah, make your own supper.
Well, thank you
funny.
so much for your
Yeah.
time and your wisdom today. These have just been
So fun.
such medicine.
Yeah.
Yep. Awesome.
And
Well-
we'll try a time when you can come up
Yeah.
too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we can all get together in
Yeah.
person sometime.
Yep, do it again.
Yeah.
Chad can make us some lunch. Feeds us.
Okay, well, thank you, Karla. Thank you, Angels.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
you.
We'll see everybody next time.
You should keep me on the call.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Yeah.